Good stuff. Now, how many of you guys, you've seen this before and you came back? Where are you guys? There's a few of you guys too, okay. So the rest of you, you're figuring out now that we're not Mercy Me. I can only imagine how upset you are. But all the doors are locked, so you might as well stay. We're glad you guys are here. I told you really quickly earlier that we're all youth workers in our churches, and man, our students got to take their third trip into Kenya this past summer. Went into Nairobi and just spent about 9 days just pouring into children's lives. Man, good stuff. How many of you guys have ever been on a mission trip? Where's my mission trip people? Hand in the air. You know what? I'm convinced that one of the coolest things that could ever happen to the church here in America is just one big field trip. Man, if we could just get out and see what's going on over there. It's not about being more spiritual or smarter or whatever. It's just when you get over there and you see what's going on, and you see how easy it really is to help, man, you're like, okay, I'm in. What do we do? And we took our first trip to Kenya when we first started out as a band. Several of the members of the band got to meet their sponsor child. Awesome stuff, right? So John Michael is my 11-year-old. Man, it's so weird saying that. I'm old. But so he's 11 and he was 5 when we first started out with Crown. So what we decided to do was we wanted to sponsor a child together, right? Thought that'd be too awesome. So we asked for a little boy the same age and the same birthday, so we could kind of do this together and kind of grow up together. And it took a little while for our stuff to come in. You can do the same thing here. You can ask for the same age and same birthday. And when our stuff finally come in, we do homeschool, right? So we're really digging into Africa. And this is what the people are like, and this is the games they play, the children and the clothes and all this kind of stuff. And so when it came time for the presentation, I'm a little fired up, right? I've got all my stuff, and we're going to tear it open and talk about it. And right before I look at the face, I think, Lord, let this be a name he can say. And the Lord did not hear my cry. Because our little guy's name is Bonio Shimishwinga. I am from Georgia, and we break stuff down in Georgia. And now his name is Bo. We've been taking care of Bo for about 6 years. It's been such a really cool journey for John Michael. They've got to trade letters, he and Bo, back and forth a little bit. And man, it's been literally years since I've had to remind John Michael to pray for Bo. I mean, when he prays for his food, he prays for Bo. When he prays before we go to bed, he prays for Bo. It's not a mission project to John Michael now. That's his brother in Africa. And we're going to be a part of his life as long as we can, because that's what the body does. It's just normal to him now. That's good stuff. And how many of you guys got kids? Anybody got kids here? All right. Well, let me tell you, I don't know how old they are, but I'll tell you, right about 5th grade, they start walking in after school every day, looking in the refrigerator, and what do they say? There's nothing to eat in here. Well, you see, if you're sponsoring a child, you just close the refrigerator door and you point to your child and say, you know, Junior, not everyone in the world has what you have, and we gave your Jell-O money to them this month. Now go cut the grass. Yeah. That's called a life lesson. That's good. It's a very, very good thing. Toilet paper doesn't grow on the roll. Jell-O doesn't grow in the refrigerator. Some stuff does grow in the refrigerator, but you don't want that anyway. Right? These are principles, learning principles right here. And so as a family, this has been a great tool for just teaching our kids what it means to be called to ministry, to your family, to your church, to the world. It's been a great, tangible kind of thing, not just big picture, but specific for us, which has been really cool. How many of you guys go to a pretty rockin' church? Any pretty rockin' churches? Some of you guys aren't so sure. We have some songs for you later. Just relax. You won't even know. I'm starting to figure out that's a Casting Crowns ministry. We just smack people in Jesus' name. That's what we do. So I think if you do it in love, it's okay. Just Lord loves you. Don't rub it. Don't rub it. But yeah. But if you're a part of a pretty rockin' church, let me tell you a little something. When we went, I just recently got to go on a trip to India, and that's where a lot of the video came from. And I got to really see firsthand how it works. I don't know if you guys are like me. I'm a bit of a cynic, you know. My generation, we grew up with the commercials on TV, right? And then when the remote came out, we didn't see the commercials anymore, right? So it's just, I think for me, it just makes me feel better about it when you're a cynic, because you don't have to do anything, right? So if you get challenged, it's like, I don't know, you know, and then you just walk away, you're like, I'm okay, right? So when we went to Africa, I got my world blown apart, and I got to see what child sponsorship really does, because there's so many big needs over there that one person couldn't do. But man, when everybody comes together, you do some big stuff, right? And what you saw in the video, you saw a bunch of kids in blue shirts, and we were all sitting together talking. That was a sponsored village, right? 300 or 400 people, and all those kids, those were school uniforms that they were wearing. Right? Because World Vision came in, met with the leadership, said, what are your greatest needs? These are the greatest needs, all right? We're going to register all the kids in the village, go back to other countries. You don't see World Vision commercials on TV because they stop wasting the money on that, right? They just do Christian events like this because when crisis comes, who steps up? The church, right? So they come to Christian events like this, and one by one, the kids are sponsored. They came back to that village, attacked the big needs. Kids stop having to walk to water and back every day for their whole life. They start going to school. That's good stuff. Then we went to a new village up outside of Rajasthan, the one that we were going to go after, the one that we wanted to see something happen in. And right now, because of the Altar and the Door tour and just families, what's happening is they're constructing a pumping station at the base of the mountain because the kids are having to walk down the mountain back every day. That's all they do. You don't go to school, you don't plan, you don't dream, you don't do anything. You survive that day, right? So when that pumping station's done, they're going to run a pipeline up to the top of the mountain. What's really cool is India is called the land of a million gods, because everywhere you go, there's a new little statue of something new that's worshipped. You can't kill animals over there, they're gods to somebody. So you walk over to India and go, you guys need Jesus. What do they say? Sure. What do you need? What does he have? You know, a cross? Cool, give me that. I'm in. See, but what's going to change in this village is, one morning those kids are going to get up. They're going to look for their silver buckets that they have to get every day to wear on their heads. They're not going to be there. And in a land of a million gods, it's going to be Jesus that turns on the water. See? That's good stuff. That'll lock you up right there. That's not something I can do, that's not something you can do, but man, one at a time we can do some stuff. And if you're here and you're in a pretty rocking church, let me tell you what that probably means is you're probably a part, maybe, of some sort of small group that meets once a week. Maybe it's just women or just men or couples or teenagers or college students. You meet one time a week. Well, in our church at Eagles Landing, what we do is the teenagers, the small groups sponsor a child. That's just too easy to do, right there. That's too easy to call easy, right? So every week, they show up once a week, and everybody puts 50 cents or $1 into a bowl next to their sponsored child's name, because it's like $35 a month, so that's like $6 a week, right? Out of a group of 10 kids, we're done. That's Coke money, right? And suddenly, we just stopped talking about being the body, and now we're being the body. That's good stuff, right? Yeah, come on. So, another big question I asked was, this little girl, like this little girl here, she's from South Africa, and her name is... The first letters are NT. What do you do with that? Vanna, give me a vowel here. So NT here. Another question I asked about, a hard question I asked World Vision to start with was, how many pictures of NT are there really, right? I mean, is it just a big bowl everybody tosses money into and it just kind of helps everybody, or what really happens? And they said at least 87 cents on the dollar goes to this little one right here. Goes to her, when all the kids are sponsored in that village, they come to the village, they attack the greatest need first. In our village that we were in, it was water. Once water's taken care of, NT goes to school. Then we start pouring into NT's life, one at a time. That's good stuff. I've got NT. All right, I got NT's friend right here. And I would love to meet you right down here in the front. The band's got cards too. They're going to come down here, and we'll meet you right down front and give you. Somebody here needs to go home with NT. Anybody want NT? Come right up here and meet us and take NT from me. Hey, Happy birthday. What's your name? Danae. Happy birthday, Danae.